I was hesitant to do this review on this movie
What? Because you
because
thought it was a
we're
trap?
trying no, that we're trying to go back into what our original game plan was, movies and shows that we grew up on. And we deviated from that original plan from the first time we started and then kept on doing it and then try to go back to watching old school movies and shows and
Yeah.
stuff that we loved growing up or we thought we loved.
I could say sometimes it counts to me if what we're reviewing is influenced by the things grew up loving.
Oh, there is definitely influence in this movie. There is
Hmm.
definitely some similarities I saw here, especially from the horror genre, the vampire genre, and some other things too. Now, granted, I knew it was going to be a great movie. I didn't expect how great it was.
Hmm.
There are movies when you see it that you can forget, or I had a good time. And there's movies that after you see it, you just rethink it, you replay in your head
Yeah.
on the fine points, and it's like, oh wow, here, or like, oh wow, like I see what they did here, things of
Well,
that nature
like
that it
we've
just
had that
hits you.
conversation, like when we were talking about The Thing. There's so many nuanced moments or subtleties that are just so great. Whether you're talking about the technicality, the story, the even the sound score, there are a lot of things that can play to put the thing together.
Right. And the title is, dare say, beautiful in a way that it is hitting a certain group that is, in my opinion, like misjudged because, well, let's get into it.
Okay.
Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm a Don.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. I don't know why I said it in that voice. How was your theater experience when you saw it,
So
if
when
you remembered?
when I went to see it, it was the day before release, and it was actually pretty packed for my theater
Right.
experience. I don't know about you.
It was pretty packed, and the majority, of course, was black because
I
this, of course,
wasn't looking
was.
at skin tone.
No, well, I know you weren't looking at skin tone. It's kind of hard to see skin tone when when it's dark in here, but you can hear the audience. You can hear how they react and things of that nature. And especially, it's been reported that for a movie, this is one of the and for an African influenced movie, if you will, by African American. I won't say black actors because I personally I don't like African American because just because you're black doesn't mean you're African American. So from a black writer, director, actor, producer, all that good stuff. This was the biggest turnout by the black demographic.
Okay.
I don't know where to start actually because there's so much information in this movie, even though this is fictional.
Yeah.
This is a fictional story. It is inspired by an artist that has been said to have sold his soul to the devil. Back then, prohibition in New Orleans, right after the was it happened in 1930, so after the First World War.
Hmm.
So there's so many factual elements in this story, in this movie, that it was just like, wow. If the thing with the vampire didn't happen, I would think this was based on a true story.
So, okay. So funny enough, the first teaser I ever saw for Sinners didn't
Mhm.
emphasize anything about vampires. It was like that final
Oh, really?
scene. Yeah, the first teaser I saw was like some moments, the grass, talking about the prohibition, and it was like Michael B.
Mhm.
Jordan sitting outside trying to light a cigarette
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
taking out the Tommy gun. And that was
Right.
the teaser I got. And so I refused to watch any other trailers until like right beforehand. It just came across my eyes, and I'm like, oh, this movie's about vampires. I had no idea
Well, the thing,
about vampires until
right?
like
But
the week before.
before that, I thought it was about zombies. I thought it was some kind of zombie apocalypse or attack.
Which is fair, that could have been also.
Right. You stay for the two credits because there's two post credits scenes, right?
So I thought it was just one. So like it's the one where
There's another.
the brother and his girl walk in, and then
Yes,
they ask him to play and he plays one more time and then they leave.
correct.
Is there anything else after that?
There's another one. It's him again, young.
Shit.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing major, but it gives you insinuation, meaning like he's in the church,
Yeah.
his father's church, and he's performing again.
Hmm.
Oh, do you know the guy who played him? That was his first acting job at all.
I found that out too. So like kudos to you, brother.
Oh my God, was he awesome?
Preacher boy. Miles Caton. That's his only acting credit. That's a
Yeah.
hell of a way to come onto the scene.
Yes.
To me, that's a breakout performance.
Yes. Oh,
That's
he'll
the
get an MTV
definition.
award.
Yeah,
He'll get an MTV award. Now, but to me, my only gripe
and that's him singing too.
is I know he's a singer.
I didn't know that.
That I knew in that sense because I mean I looked it up. But yes, he's a musical artist. But just in my opinion, that his voice didn't match his look.
Yeah, we've
His
seen that
it's like
countless times, but still, it's awesome when that
yeah,
happens,
but it's like an old soul in this young kid.
which is
That's what it felt
perfect.
like to me.
That's
Yeah,
that's perfect for
it
the
is.
role because, like, when you think of a character that can summon spirits or channel like quote unquote the ancestors, but they threw it through song, you want to get the impression like their tone, their voice, or their song itself is like older than they are. Like there's more wisdom
Mhm.
behind those words than even they know. That's a perfect choice for having a character be a singer and to be able to do that.
True. But to go back into the final end credit scene.
Yeah.
So he's in a church. He's playing a song with that guitar of his that you see him break, and he's looking in a direction. Now they're saying that there's a shadow. You can see a shadow somehow somewhere, and that's supposed to be the devil that
Mhm.
he's selling the soul to. I kind of doubt that. I just think that he's because he keeps looking off camera, and we don't see who's off camera.
Yeah.
I think he's just singing to the Lord.
Yeah. Or or
There's a
to the
cross.
ancestors or to a spirit or whatever.
Yeah, but he's just saying it's like, "This is my gift. I wanna share my gift."
Mhm.
Or that, "Thank you, this is my gift, so let me honor you by sharing my gift with you." Kinda that thing, right? So he just lets it out. So you can interpret it anyway, but for me, I just thought that he was just praying, if you will, to the God, because his father was a preacher, he's the preacher's son. That's what you wanna do, but again, he could be playing it to God, him thinking is God, better than it is the devil. And of course, there is no devil here. It's just a vampire which has so much. Well, not the vampire itself, but the character who played the vampire, the Irishman.
Mhm.
For me, it's so much deeper than it goes on about because, or I don't know if you know or not, before slavery of the black man
Mhm.
in Ireland and in parts of the US when it was being founded, what have you, certain Irish people were slaves themselves.
Yeah.
So you had this Irishman, not that saying he was a slave, but he, to me, represented that part. And he's going and finding these other people who are former slaves or still work on a plantation, things like that, finding community. He's trying to create his own community while also trying to infiltrate another community at the juke joint.
Yeah. Well, to me, I interpret it like he didn't see, like he even explained it. He's like, I don't see color like you do. He's like, everybody for me can be part of my community. And he even called him out on it. He, like, even you separated others away
Mhm,
because technically
mhm.
they did. They're protecting themselves,
Right.
without question, but they are also segregating at the same time.
Well,
And he
they
called
have
them,
to.
yeah, no,
Well, they
I
have to
understand
because
that.
right, because of the times of the situation of the times.
Absolutely.
He's
But he called them out on it. And
no true, but
he's promising them a world that is without that segregation, no matter what.
right. But the thing is, there is a segregation in itself as well, if you will,
Mhm.
because
It's a hive mind.
he's turning people.
Mhm.
He's turning into night walkers. They can't have free will because you can't do whatever you want. You have to be indoors or in shade once the sunlight comes up, right? And all that stuff. So in a way, he is having a segregation within his own community that they can't venture out because once they're part of his flock, they don't have free will in that aspect.
Well, it's actually more so than that because there is a literal hive mind. And he's in full control of
Right.
everything
Oh,
they
yes, yes,
know,
yes,
he
yes, yes.
knows. They do on his command. There's multiple times that
Mhm.
they're just puppeting what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
Mhm.
he's a Jedi. He's a Jedi master, or he's a Sith Lord, if
That's
you
more
will.
that's more accurate. But yeah, so
Right.
it's
Yeah, or a puppet master.
yes, it's
Right.
because of their
Because
connection. Because I guarantee you,
right.
most of those people in that community don't know that Irish song that they were all
Oh
singing.
no, 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 no. That was so deep. I mean, you have the dualities because you have earlier, I believe it's earlier, that when he's singing, when the preacher boy is singing, you
Mhm.
have that transcendence of the past, present, and future of music and dance,
Yeah.
which to me was my favorite moment. I know mom would have gone balls crazy for that scene. She loves music, she loves to dance and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So this would have been right. That scene would have been right up her alley. right
Yeah.
up her alley. And I like, well, to me, it was more eerie when they were doing the Lord of the Fly dance that outside, and
Oh, the river dance?
when the
They
river
were
dance when
they were singing Rocky Road to Dublin, which is also
no,
a
I
song
understand,
about, I wanna say it's about prejudice and segregation as well. I could be wrong. I haven't researched it.
but I'm saying I just find it eerie. It had a different, definitely had a different tone than what happened in the juke joint.
Oh, 100%. Like, you literally,
You
you
know,
have him, like, he's the center of the attention. He's dancing, he's singing, and the way it starts, him singing in the background, and then it
Mhm.
starts picking up the beat and they start partying, and you see, like, Michael B. Jordan's like, "Ha!" Like, just clapping his
Mhm.
way.
Which one?
Stack is the
Stacker
one that got
smokes
bit.
there.
Smoke is the one inside.
Oh my god, that was so gross.
Oh, the
That was
spit?
so gross. Oh my god, that was so gross.
She's like, "You
Oh my
wanna
god,
taste
that
it?"
was
I'm
like,
like, "Ugh, ugh."
oh
Listen,
my god, I was like, no,
listen,
no,
everybody
I
has
don't
their
care
own
how
thing,
hot you are.
but that was a river.
Oh
That
my
was a
god,
water
it
fountain,
was like mucus. It was
and
like,
it was
oh,
so thick.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
I
Oh,
will say this, the movie is absolutely, we're jumping around a lot, but
I know we're jumping around.
the
Okay,
movie is a
because
slow burn. Like, if they didn't have
yes,
vampires, you could easily substitute that half of the film for something else.
well, it could have been like, well, what happened at the end, right? The KKK show up. It could have been that. Oh, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of From Dusk to Dawn.
I could see that.
Though here you were seeing it happen. It was building up. Where From Dusk to Dawn, it just turns. You don't know it's
Yeah,
vampires, whatever, blah blah
because
blah.
at the very
Right? For
beginning,
the
they give you a hint at the very beginning, and then, they don't
well,
do that
when
at
he
Dust to Dawn.
right when the Irishman falls down, you have all these Easter eggs and all these sites, channels, whatever that go break down the Easter egg. But he's old school. He's like what, like 1,000 years old. He's from
Yeah,
time,
that's
and
a
he flies.
old, he's old.
Yeah, and he flies because we saw that when he was going after Haley. But then he falls, right, like a fallen angel, they say.
Mhm.
And I knew it right away. It was a vampire because of his skin,
Burning in sunlight. Mhm.
and that's the introduction to what this story is going to go into. But no, but he played an awesome role too. That guy, what's his name?
Chad O'Connell, he played Rimmick.
Yeah. Oh, geez, was he good? And
Mhm.
like he was just so persuading, and like you can't like,
Almost
how can he
playful.
not? Oh, but yeah, he's like, even when he's not going his way, he's like, no worries, okay. And he was playing the long game because he's like, let's
Mhm.
just go over here and just play, just chill. Someone's going to come out to us, or whoever leaves will have a feast. One of the two.
And they basically
But
did.
oh, definitely when they like for me, I was like, since I know that it's going to take a turn, I was like, when, when? I was like, okay, now, okay, now, okay, no, not now, okay, now. So I was waiting for that shit to hit the fan,
I mean, it
right?
was hitting the fan, just, like, one thing will happen after the other, and then
No, I
it'll
know, but
pause.
I was wondering when. And then when the girl got turned
Mhm.
and then saw smoke or stack,
Cornbread,
one of the two.
because I
No,
think they
no,
saw
not cornbread.
cornbread first, and then they saw smoke.
No, but I'm talking about when she saw was with him after
Yeah.
she got turned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because she got turned. And
Mhm.
then she's with him. It's like, oh boy.
True.
And Delroy Lindro. Delroy Lindro. Yeah, Lindro?
Delroy
Lindro.
Lindo.
Yeah, Delroy Lindo.
I love him.
Always
He's a
great. He's
fantastic actor.
always good.
Mhm.
Always. And the thing is, he doesn't act the same. Even seasoned actors get comfortable. He does not. You know that scene where him, Preacher Boy, and I guess again Smoke or Stack is driving back. They picked him up
Mhm.
and they drive back, and he's telling a story. And Michael B. Jordan tells the Preacher Boy, "Hey, you better play that guitar."
Yeah.
All that was improvised. Well, not necessarily improvised. There was a line,
Yeah, like cues.
dialogue,
Mhm.
yeah, dialogue and stuff like that to hit. And he was having some trouble, Delroy, that is, and he made it musical.
Yeah.
And then when he started going into music, Michael B. and Preacher Boy, they took it, and then that was the improvisation. Like, let's just go for it and have some fun. To me, my favorite scene is that dancing. Oh, the Asians.
Grace Chow and Bo Chow?
It threw me off that had Western accents, but it makes sense
Yeah.
that they have Western accents because where they were raised.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they
'cause they're
wasn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that around the time, like, they were more welcomed into the community, like, them, than the blacks themselves, but they were still segregated at the
correct.
same time?
Not yes, meaning that they were the middle person
Yeah.
between the whites and the blacks. So like that couple may be like first or second generation in,
The daughter
because
definitely
you
was.
had
The
definitely she yeah, yeah,
she was
yes,
born there for
definitely
sure.
was, definitely. But like the husband and the wife, they have their accents, the Western accents, but not necessarily New Orleans. So they may have migrated into New Orleans to
Mhm.
have a life and have a be part of a community. But there's history there too, in a sense. The Chinese were hugely responsible for the railroad system, laying down the tracks and stuff like that, and building and helping explode holes in mountains for trains can go through.
Yeah.
So a lot of Chinese were killed, just like how a lot of blacks were killed and enslaved. These guys were also enslaved in a different fashion. So, and you can see how, like, again, they represent that part of history. Again, like you said, being the middle person of the blacks and the whites, but still there is segregation there as well. Again, there is so much history behind this, and I just couldn't. I was like, oh,
Did you
I was just
recognize
blown.
the wife, Grace Chow, Lee Jun Lee? Did you recognize her?
No, where?
Wu Assassins.
Ooh, assassins.
She was one of the main characters in Wu Assassins. She played Jenny Hua or Wei.
Or the show or the sequel movie?
No, the show. She was 9 of the episodes.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite moment? And I know we're jumping around, but let's get into that.
Okay. There's a couple favorite moments I have. The garlic, because that is not like an overly exciting moment. It's tense, but then they go into comedic because they prove that the garlic works because they use pickled garlic on
Yeah.
Remick, and then they like, okay, we don't know who's who, so we all take a garlic, and they were all
Mhm,
focused on the one girl because she hates garlic, and then uh
mhm.
Del Rey takes the garlic. He's like, "Ooh," and everybody's like getting ready to stake him. He goes, "Ah, it's the Irish beer."
What did that remind you of,
The
that
Thing,
scene?
of course. You know
Yes.
the blood sampling of The Thing.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. That's what reminded me too. I was like,
That's a beautiful call out. I did mention about the Irish, the Irish folk song being sung outside. I thought that was great because it shows the
mhm,
hive mind, the
mhm.
mentality. I love Irish folk songs in general. Actually, it was just really cool and weird moment. I love weird moments in horror films. They actually
Oh, I mean, to me, it just felt
they're
like,
so triggering in a great
oh,
way.
oh,
Um,
how about when guys getting killed? The guy who they thought was killed and was about to turn. And he's like, hey, let me back in, let me back in. And then he gets attacked. And then the
yes,
Asian husband comes back.
he's not paying
And of
attention to
course,
it. Yeah,
it's not that he's not paying attention. He doesn't care because he's already turned. So he knows what's happening. He's like, oh,
exactly. But
yeah.
then Remick
Oh, well.
shows up and he starts speaking in her tongue, and
Yes.
and she knows what's up, and that sets it off. And
She invites, yeah. And then she's like, come in, motherfuckers.
which
And I was like, oh,
I was reading the memes, everybody was giving her hate, like the character, not the actress, was giving
yeah,
the
no, yeah,
character
yeah, yeah.
hate because like of course she let them in, and like
Yeah.
they arguably had a fighting chance. But I get it. She's the only one that's a parent there. Like
Yeah.
the other ones, they lost their kids. They
Yes.
know that her daughter's out there. Even though they want Preacher Boy, that doesn't mean they won't go after the daughter. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
clearly have most of like a good portion of town right now.
Well, that's what I'm
Uh,
saying. That's what I'm saying. They'll just again, like a virus just spread.
exactly. And she did what she wanted to do. So when as soon as they let them in, she went right for her husband. To me, in her eyes, her husband was the greatest threat. Did
Right.
she die in the process? Absolutely. She went out like a boss.
Yeah, that reminded me of, I think, Vietnam. There was a protest where a monk protested by lighting himself on fire until his death.
That's wild.
No pain. He did not move. He just lit himself up, stayed in a sitting position, and died while on fire. And that kind of reminded me of that, in the sense of like, so determined to kill yourself for the potential end of war or to protect the daughter.
Or save lives. Yeah, yeah.
And she was just yelling through the pain and putting the
Mhm.
focus on taking down her husband.
The
Just fucked
interaction
up.
with Cornbread at the door. It was a little long, but it was very comical.
Woo!
Yo, but
Yeah, it
when
kind
he grabbed that arm and Michael B pulled out his pistol right at that moment, I was like, wow, quick hands.
I knew that's gonna happen though. I was like, don't go for the hand. Don't go shake. Don't shake the hand. Don't shake. Ah, there you go.
He should have tossed the money.
Exactly. And, I felt for him, Michael B. Jordan, again, Smoke or Stack. I can't remember right now at the top of my head.
Stack was the neck.
Right. Okay. We don't know all the history, but we know some in the sense of military, was in Chicago, all that stuff. Then it came
Yeah,
here.
he
But
fought in World War One, and
mhm,
then they went to Chicago, and they played both the Italian and the Irish mobs.
yes. See, that would have been like again, without the vampires, but if you have the mobs coming after them, that
It
does
still
he
would have
like,
worked.
oh, hells yeah. Hells yes.
Mhm.
Or the KKK, like I said earlier. But his thing too, and it was just so touching because his dead son.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just
It's like
the blood,
if your
the blood
magic
of
was so good to keep me alive, why couldn't it protect her son?
right. But I'm just saying though, you see the handprint,
Yeah.
the blood handprint of the son on the stone.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh, it's just so heartbreaking. Then you see it at the end, which is touching. I didn't want it to happen. I don't want him to go because you think a shot to the gut. I thought it went through, so I thought he was okay. I thought the bullet went through, but apparently,
But well,
and it wasn't.
here's how I took it. He was planning on dying anyways, because remember he took off the thing that protected him, and it's been
Yes,
protecting him
yes,
all this time apparently. So he's
mhm.
like comfortable with passing away at this point.
But yeah, because his brother just died, if you will.
The woman he
He's
loved.
forever eternal. Yeah. So everything of his past and present just ended in the night.
Hmm.
And he's just probably just tired. He's been fighting his whole life. Like you said, World War One. Then he went to Chicago, fighting over there, fighting people in his growing up in Louisiana.
His own father.
Yes. So he's just probably, I'm done. And I'm going to take whoever I can with me.
Yeah.
So then he finally found peace. Now, does that make Stack, since he and the girl are alive, or not alive, but they survived, still vampires,
Yeah.
is he the hive mind or is she the hive mind?
If
For
I
him,
had to guess, I would say she, unless there's like a power dynamic of will. I would say this. They hinted at there's clearly more than just vampires in that cinematic universe, because
Hmm,
obviously there's spirits.
yes,
There's
yes.
not quite witchcraft, but like maybe like some kind of, it wasn't voodoo.
Yeah, it's voodoo.
It could be like a form of witchcraft. And then she even mentions, she's like, she thought originally that they were called hates. But then she's like, but then I realized these are vampires. So that tells me there's also other creatures that can
Right,
possess people and
right.
like turn them. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, they could have a
Right.
whole cinematic universe just based on
Hmm.
the concept alone.
Hmm.
Also, what happened to the Native American vampire hunters?
Yes, yes, yes.
They said, don't let him in your house. Have a good night. We'll never see you again.
Right. So that,
I mean,
well, that's
technically, if
definitely
you're a vampire hunter at that time, I would never hunt at night. Like, was it like John Carpenter's Vampires with James Woods? He says, what's one of the rules of vampire hunting? Never hunt at night. It's like,
well, they bolted.
yeah, they
What
saw the
was
sun going
sunset?
down, and they're like,
They're
screw
like,
it.
we gotta go. But the thing is, like, well, again, you can't. They're not going to be there at night at the juke joint,
Yeah.
so they serve really no purpose. And in the sense of no, they serve no purpose.
No,
See, that would have been cool if they did show up at night to help fight or
mm,
whatever. But I don't know. No, maybe
maybe
not.
it
Maybe
showed up in
it
the
takes away.
morning.
Like the cavalry
Yeah,
is too late.
it's like
Yeah, maybe that. I don't know.
Remick
Here,
said
so
like they killed his wife, so maybe they did kill it, like his coven of vampires or that he had, and he was the last of them. And it's
oh, he
clear,
definitely was the last.
yeah,
Definitely the
it's
last.
clear that he can stand in the sunlight better than most of the other vampires. Like he could last longer,
Well, yeah, because he's older, so he's more. When you're older, you're more, I guess, experienced and durable.
stronger, yeah, and like
Yeah.
he literally changed his shape more than they did.
Yes. Now I know that this trope of vampires in the sense of trait or personality, not personalities, but I couldn't help but think of Fright Night at
Hmm.
certain moments. Nosferatu, not the Dracula movies, but pretty much any vampire movie, you have the long fingers and fingernails.
Yeah,
But I definitely remember it in Lost Boys, Fright Night, and Nosferatu. Not the recent one. I'm talking about the old one. I don't know. Haven't seen the most recent one. Excuse me. But their fingers were long as well.
but
Yes.
like there was a point
Uh,
where his jawline becomes longer after he gets hit with the guitar,
yes.
and like and you see his all teeth like behind there.
Oh,
The thing with
oh,
I
just
Every time I would see their eyes, I'm like, Riddick? They all got like pitch black eyes.
Yes.
and, and I haven't, but the weird thing was like some of them had yellow eyes and some of them had like silver eyes. And there was
Right.
it made no sense why you would have yellow versus silver. It made sense why
Mhm.
he had the red eyes. He was like the only one with red
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah, yeah.
Oldest, sure. But the other ones, I'm like, y'all turned within 24 hours. How is it y'all have different eyes?
Did you notice if it was like male or female that was having these color eyes, or it was random?
It seemed random. The only thing
Okay.
I can think of, and again, this goes to my idea of like the hive mind, is there could be a factor of personality. Like if you join the hive mind, if your strength of will of mind is strong enough, you
Mhm,
keep some of your own personal traits and
mhm,
your own individuality. Like Stack and Haley's character were more
mhm.
unique than say the husband and wife that first got turned that were cousins of the Ku Klux Klan. They were just puppets, but then
Mhm.
Stack gets turned and he's pretty much just Stack, just meaner. You know,
Well, he was able to also,
he negotiated
like, well, yeah, he was able to escape.
because of
So
smoke.
he was, that's what I'm saying, like, and she bolted out too. She went into the woods.
Hmm.
Unless that was the plan all along,
Like a
to
backup plan.
let maybe, because doesn't his essence, Remick, doesn't it essence travels on, or no? I don't know how it works
No,
in vampires, so I don't know.
the
You know more
quick
than me.
the quick and dirty explanation is they're all together like a hive mind and they're stuck here
Yeah.
on Earth. They can't experience
Hmm.
their ancestors or anything until you kill them, and then they're released from the curse. So technically, when Remick dies, he's gone. He's no
Hmm.
longer a part of the curse. So like, it doesn't kill the rest of the vampires. They're all technically independent unless there's one master to control them all.
Well, he didn't control those two.
Exactly. So that's why I'm thinking like there has to be a level of willingness or lack of control to fight. Again, theory, but it's just like they're fighting the control, but they're still enjoying the control kind of situation.
I guess. Now, I do like also, it's in the beginning, then it goes back into the end, sense of Preacher Boy returning home,
It's a
just
full
like
circle.
Smoke.
They show
Yeah,
the in the beginning and they come back to that same scene.
right. But also like Smoke and Stack, they come back home.
Yeah.
He didn't travel, but he came back home, and he will not let go of the guitar.
And
Well,
that was a lot of things. Like
then
a lot of people
then
were like, why wouldn't he let go of the guitar? I'm like, to me, the guitar saved his life. It was a moment of
yes,
freedom, but the guitar
exactly.
literally saved him. Like he prayed to
Yes,
God,
that's
and the guitar came to him from his prayers to God. Literally, it did. It
mhm.
floated to him.
Yeah, yeah. You would not let go of something that saved you or helped save you,
Yes.
right? That is like your forever memory or what have you,
Hmm.
that attaches you to, or is attachment to that memory, or symbolizes to that ordeal.
Yeah.
Even though he has a scar, he has it there. And I like it too. He thought the guitar was gifted by something else, by someone else, and it was Smoke and Stack's father's guitar.
Yes. Oh, I forget the guy's name. It was like it was an urban legend about this guy who sold his soul to be able to play, and gave the devil gave him the guitar.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm referring to. That one of the bases of the story is that it was this guy at a crossroads, because they that's one of the songs is at a crossroads where he's meets the devil. Oh, did you notice, because someone brought it up, the first post-credit scene, that at the bar there's a mirror. You see the bartender,
Yeah.
but you don't see Smoke
Oh,
nor
I didn't.
Haley's,
So I didn't see that.
right?
That they don't have a
And
reflection.
you don't see the old man. He's not reflected.
Huh.
Right. So they're saying he's not a vampire. That's a given,
But
but
maybe something else.
is showing that he actually did sell his soul to the devil. Something like that.
Ah.
I don't know about selling the soul to the devil, but to me, and that's like he just wanted to play, and maybe he did sell his soul to the devil. I don't know. I don't see any weak moments. Was it a slow burn? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. It's like a roller coaster. You just go up and up and up until it kicks over to the free fall, to the end of the ride, and that's what it felt like. And it was just so good. The acting was phenomenal.
The brother and brother CGI. There was only one scene that was kind of weak, but other than that, it was still good acting
In the beginning.
when they were passing the
Yeah,
cigarette from each other.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hard stunt to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, the girl that the preacher boy was into,
Oh,
and she starts singing.
the married woman.
Yes, I didn't
Yes.
like her performance part in the sense of singing. and her dancing, it did
To,
not
to me, that
match.
that was more From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, but it did not match that time. The way she was moving and dancing, it felt more modern than it did match back then.
I get that.
Like if she was dancing well during that time where they're showing future, past, and present of dances and music and culture throughout the decades and centuries, then okay. But just that part with her, it's just like that's just one of the minors.
Yeah.
But do you have a weak moment?
I think the biggest thing that we've already talked about is just minute stuff. Like it's 2 hours and 17 minutes long. That slow
Hmm.
burn. On the
Hmm.
first viewing, probably you won't feel it. If I were to watch it again, I'd probably feel it more.
Possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
But
might
it's, I
hurt it
mean,
for a repeat. But again, it's everything that we would say there are negatives are at this point it's going to be nitpicking.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, who's the one that got bit in the neck again?
Stack.
When Smoke. Okay, when Smoke goes into town and he gets the girl to watch over his car, his truck.
Oh, the guys try to rob him.
Right. And
And
he
he's
shoots
like,
him in the ass. He said, "Wait, hey, why you shoot me in the ass, man?" And then he shoots the other guy in the leg. It's just like, it's just like,
he's like, I can't let y'all go home without a
yeah,
story to tell.
I thought she was lying. I don't know you're back. Oh, man. That was one of the funniest moments. But on Rotten Tomatoes, at the time of this review, it is 97% by the critics and by the audience. Where are you?
I feel like a 92. It's a stellar film. It's really good. It's not hard enough to make me feel that scared me, but it's hard enough for me to be like, that's a fascinating, good story and keep me entertained.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, they carried a giant knife for 2 scenes. That's it. And it doesn't get used for anything else.
Who carried a giant knife?
Stack had a knife on his hip, and then like remember the snake? He throws the knife up, Smoke catches it, and I thought there was gonna be
Yeah.
another move done later in the like
Oh,
foreshadowing,
showing that?
like that
Yeah,
they're gonna do
yeah.
something smooth with the knife. Nah,
Nah, nah.
just for the
Well,
snake.
maybe I would like to have seen that. Maybe if he did something with that with the KKK, like close-up battle, close-up
Mhm.
fight. He has, the bullets are done and whatever, and he's using his like. I kind of wish that scene.
There was more to it.
He's former military.
I mean,
He
he
started.
took him out pretty well.
I know, but he came out like he didn't have to.
True,
Like you're saying, like he wanted to, like he was done. He
but
came out there. He didn't have
he
to.
tossed a grenade in the truck. With the, I
Oh,
was like,
oh,
yo.
oh, it was. Oh yeah, yeah. It was. Oh, there were some vicious deaths in this scene besides the vampire stuff. For me, it's 95.
Okay.
This is also worth to me. Like I was about to go yesterday to see it again.
Mhm.
I'm going to see it again. It is worth that. It is more worth going to the theaters again than Revenge of the Sith that are doing right now at the time of this recording. They're having the rescreenings of one of the worst Star Wars film. And yes, I'll say it again, one of the worst Star Wars movies made. Okay, I'll fight you on that.
So you'll say this movie's worth the own.
It's worth the own. It's definitely worth the watch. I would love to see the behind the scenes. Love to see it. And I've been sharing with you all these like memes and stories and videos about
Oh, I've sent you
their
some back.
interviews. Yeah, I know. But some of the histories going about it and all that stuff I share with you because what this movie has done is revitalize the history, if you will, of the Old West. It's not really the Old West, but a prohibition of early
Prohibition era.
modern America.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prohibition era, but modern American history, if you will.
You also see stuff that like people are becoming more aware about like the Irish history too because of people who are talking about it. I have Irish friends that don't even talk about their Irish history. It's so funny to me about that. But
Well, I knew about the certain demographic of Irish people being used as slaves.
yeah, you could argue that they're just white folks like anybody else, but they were just as segregated in many communities.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But they made it. See, like when the popularity of Black slavery started to become more and more popular and favorable, even though that certain Irish group of white people struggling and all that, you see it today. They'll twist the words around to make the most successful Black person look inferior to the weakest, poorest white person. They're like this. You may be Irish, you may be slave, but you're not Black and a slave. They try to make it you're white, so be happy that you're white. Some bullshit like that.
It's
Ugh,
wild.
it's so
That's so
bad.
wild.
It is so it is wild. It is wild. On that note, all right, guys, that is our movie review of Why Call Sinners.
Why is it called Sinners? Is it having to do with the fact that like preacher boy, that like the whole preacher believes that like partaking in sin, and they're sinning, they're dancing, they're drinking, they're doing crimes and stuff like that, playing music.
Well, no.
Also, that's Footloose, mind you. Dancing is a sign of sin.
Well, yes. Well, but okay. Listen,
If Kevin Bacon showed up in one scene.
Oh, have you seen his new show?
I don't know why, but it went slow-mo when you said that. I have seen the new show.
It's good.
But here's the thing.
It's good.
They've done it before. The same exact premise was done before, called a show called Brimstone. So basically, we're on a tangent on this one. So
is Brimstone like a British show, or is it an American show?
It was an American show in 1998, starring Peter Horton and John Glover.
So it's a remake.
Kind of. It's a dead cop sentenced to hell is returned to Earth by the devil to recover 113 escaped evil spirits. And John Glover plays the devil.
The devil will want them to run amok. No?
No. They explain it in the first episode. It's like there's there's a heaven, there's a hell, there's a earth, and there's an order of things. Even though you think the devil would want hell on earth, no. He likes his things to be where they are. People need to be punished. Why would he let his own people that escape? That's like a warden letting people out.
For more people can suffer.
No, it doesn't mean that he'll get those souls. They consume the souls that are out there. So they're hurting his business, basically. Long story short. It's an old show. It's 1998. It was only one season. I liked it, but you can't find it anywhere. It doesn't stream anywhere.
Wow.
You have to rent it.
Shit, what were we talking about?
Sinners?
Yes. So Sinners is the people, the music, because just like in anything, when certain group doesn't like it, it's the devil's music, it's the devil's TV or whatever you call it. Like, we had that with the music. Rock and roll had that. Blues before rock and roll. Anything that was not of the norm, people use religion to help shut it down.
Well, we saw in more modern day aspects,
it's video games,
comic books, even like tabletop games. Like when I played D&D, they had advertisements and commercials saying that D&D was like, it was a book about the devil. And even Pokemon. I've heard that too. I had one of my aunts used to say, like, they're pocket devils. That's what Pokemon means. I'm like, no, it does not mean that.
No. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I'm not throwing the name out there, but you know exactly who I mean. Yeah, and it was at a comic convention when I was explaining this.
She was there?
She wanted to go. And I was like, okay. And it didn't help that some of the people were dressed like dominatrix style, like Eve, right? Oh man. Well, on that note,
all right, guys, that is our movie review of Sinners. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.